This video is about geometric sequencing using the explicit formula. A sequence is just a list of numbers separated by commas, also called terms. So each number would be a term. For example, 4 would be the first term, or we could also call it A1. And then there's 8, which would be the second term, or A2. 16 is the third term, or A3, and 32 is the fourth term, in A4. And the dots just mean that this pattern goes on forever. So when we're giving a sequence, the numbers are going up geometrically or by multiplication. For example, from 4 to 8, I multiply 2. From 8 to 6, I multiply 2. From 16 to 32, I multiply 2. Multiplication factor is actually called the ratio. So let's look at an example. Let's say we're being asked to find the 8th term in the sequence below. So we're going to use a special sequential formula. Looks like this, although I prefer it this way. But it is important to go over a few things of this formula. For instance, a to the first is really the first term in the sequence. So since 4 came first, I would replace this a with a 4. And then the r. The r is the ratio that we multiplied by, that we just went over. And the n is the term you're trying to discover. In this case, we're trying to discover the 8th term. So let's figure this out. I know I'm trying to find the 8th term, so I'll put it in the equation. And the first term is 4. I'm going to multiply that times the ratio. If you guys recall, it was 2. So I'm multiplying by 2, so the ratio is 2. And I'm trying to find the 8th term, but I'm going to subtract it by 1. Now all I have to do is compute it. And every time I do a step, I'll rewrite the equation or the formula. 4 times 2 to the 7th power now. That's 8 minus 1. Now I have to do 2 to the 7th power, and I believe that is 128. And I'll bring everything down. And last step, I will multiply 4 times 128, which is 512. All right, let's look at another problem. This time we're being asked to find the 12th term in the sequence. But we're going to do the same exact thing starting with the formula. So I'm trying to find the 12th term. So I'm going to put I'm going to replace the n with 12. Now, A1 stands for the first term of the sequence. In this case, it's going to be 5 times the ratio. The ratio, remember, is how do I get from one term to the next? And each time, I'm going up by a multiplication of 3. So I'll replace my r with a 3, and once again the n value is 12, and I'm going to subtract it by 1. All I have to do is compute. So instead of an exponent of 12 minus 1, that takes me to an exponent of 11. Next I'll find out what 3 to the 11th power is, and it comes out to be 177,147. Now I have to take that number and multiply it times 5, and that'll give me the 12th term, which is 885,735. Now it's your turn to try. Try to find the 9th term in this sequence below. So pause the video here, do your work, and then when you're ready, unpause the video to reveal the answer. Well, hopefully you get it right. If you did, put on some music, throw yourself a dance party, and remember, the only time success comes before work is in the dictionary. If you like this video, Please press like at the bottom and subscribe to our channel.